Hello? I'm Jake. A few years ago, I had an idea for a wrestling-related show. Well, not exactly like The Wrestling Fan. Is it really so hard to understand that putting "the" in all caps makes it The Wrestling Fan? Where he was funny and pulled apart just awful matches and awful stories. My show would have been more about booking what I thought was best for business.
What's best for business?
A couple episodes on Nintendo were my ideas for a Jeff Hardy return to face a heel CM Punk to headline WrestleMania, and for Daniel Bryan to cash in at WrestleMania and end the streak. So, what does this have to do with what I'm doing here right now? Well, this is going to be about wrestling. What follows this episode will be a series of periodic episodes where I discuss bullshit that interests me. But, to break up the monotony of frequent episode releases, episodes for this show will be uploaded whenever the fuck I feel like it. So, what am I talking about today? Ah, yes. Roman Reigns. The man the WWE Universe will bitch about in the future no matter how much hard work he puts in. Wait, is it the future already? Roman Reigns made his WWE main roster debut at Survivor Series 2012, along with Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose in a faction soon to be called The Shield. A rare thing happened with this group. We got not one, not two, but three superstars who got over organically with the WWE Universe. Their meteoric rise was proof that WWE had put their stock into these three young men who were sure to be the future of WWE. Eventually, the E decided the time was right to split the Shield up and create three single superstars. It was then that it became quite clear that the former WWF truly did believe in these guys, particularly Rollins. It began making the rounds online that WWE intended to push Roman Reigns to the moon. This would begin with him winning the 2015 Royal Rumble, which I totally called after Blue Batista won last year. This will culminate with him beating Paul Heyman's client,
Brock Lesnar!
at WrestleMania for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Now, this has led to a lot of very justified arguments that the master of the Superman Punch isn't quite ready to take the title. I have no problems with this, because I totally get the arguments. What I do take issue with, however, is how the IWC, Internet Wrestling Community, is taking such a gigantic shit on Roman Reigns. The IWC has bitched and moaned about the abundant John Cena whoring that WWE does. Because who wants to make money? And they've been screaming for a new star for years. Now, we get this genuinely talented kid who just needs a little bit of experience. Because WWE has put their full force into him for their future, they decide that they hate them, even after cheering him and his teammates for 2 years. Great logic, IWC. And what's their biggest piece of evidence that he's not ready?
You are a sniveling little suck-up sellout full of suffering succotash, son!
Oh, come on. Okay, that's so clearly scripted. And who in the hell could read that and sound sincere? Okay, seriously, who the fuck thinks that sounds clever? Yes, he does need work on the mic, but that comes in time. Nobody's brilliant from the get-go. Well, that's enough stroking Roman Reigns. It's time to get to what this video is actually about. Fantasy booking. It's very likely that all we're going to be getting is a very simple Reigns dominates the Rumble and then goes on to dominate the Beast at WrestleMania scenario. But here's a way that we can spice that up and make sure the fans actually go for it. We can go ahead and assume that Dean Ambrose, Daniel Bryan, and Dolph Ziggler are going to be a part of the final 5 of this year's Royal Rumble. Now, this has presented a problem. How exactly do we get Roman Reigns to eliminate such over superstars and win the Royal Rumble and still get cheered? Well, he doesn't. So, how do we fix this? Well, I said final 5 for a reason. Let's see. Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, Dolph Ziggler, and Daniel Bryan. Will you simmer the fuck down? I just said his name. Now, this means that there are... Carry the... 1. One. That means there's one left. So who could be the fifth for this year's Royal Rumble? Well, supervillain Seth Rollins, of course.
Excuse me, he's already in a championship match that night.
Who in the bloody butthole fuck are you?
I'm the physical manifestation you wrote to represent the IWC.
Well, isn't that subtle?
Whoa?
Yeah, you're right. He is in the title match at this year's Royal Rumble pay-per-view? Special event? But do you realize how he got in that match? The Authority put him in as a reward for all of his hard work. This means that it isn't out of the realm of possibility that after he loses the match, that the Authority would grant him the number 30 spot. So, how would he factor into this? Well, we can have Ambrose and Reigns team up to battle Ziggler and Bryan as the countdown begins for the number 30 entrant. Clock hits 0 and Seth Rollins' music hits. Ambrose and Reigns become distracted as either Ziggler or Bryan knock Reigns into Ambrose. Ambrose begins fighting Reigns as Ziggler and Bryan begin dueling. Rollins slides into the ring and waits. Ziggler and Bryan end up by the ropes with Ziggler trying to eliminate Bryan. Taking the opportunity, Rollins runs over and eliminates both. At this time, a break in the fight should happen. This allows for Rollins, Reigns, and Ambrose to have a stare down of sorts from separate corners of the ring, while allowing this moment to sink in for both them and the fans. This finally leads to Rollins eliminating Ambrose, leaving the Architect to battle his former Shield brethren. After about 5 or 7 minutes, Rollins and Reigns eliminate each other. The refs will do their typical bullshit argument over whose feet hit the ground first. Enter the Authority. Triple H says the Royal Rumble match will be restarted. Another 5-minute fight goes on, leading to another double elimination. Again, Triple H angrily and quickly restarts the match. As the match continues, Triple H motions towards the back, and Kane and or J&J Security come running down to help Rollins eliminate Reigns. Just as it appears Reigns is eliminated, Daniel Bryan runs down to even the odds. With Rollins distracted, Reigns goes for the spear, but Rollins moves out of the way. Reigns hits the post and stumbles a bit and hits the ground. Rollins runs to attempt the curb stomp, only for Reigns to rally and back body drop Rollins out of the Royal Rumble and become the number 1 contender for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Let me count the ways as to why this will work. 1. Roman Reigns avoids being booed because he eliminates such intense fan favorites Dolph Ziggler and Daniel Bryan. 2. This will subtly start a feud with the Authority. 3. Bryan helping him helps legitimize him in the eyes of most fans. 4. He will become a more believable threat to Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. And 5. We will get a show-stealing match between Daniel Bryan and Seth Rollins at WrestleMania.
I still don't think beating Brock Lesnar will make him a believable champion.
Fine, let's take this a step further. After a grueling and brutal match, Roman Reigns defeats Brock Lesnar with the Superman Punch and begins his reign as WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Until Seth Rollins' music hits and we see Mr. Money in the Bank head toward the ring.
When a new champion is crowned at WrestleMania, the moment shouldn't be solely about...
Oh, would you shut the fuck up and let me finish?
Fine.
Anyways, Rollins makes his way out to the ring and cashes in his Money in the Bank contract. Rollins sets up the curb stomp, but Reigns avoids it. They fight for about 5 minutes when Rollins manages to get the better of Reigns and arrogantly sets up the curb stomp, mocking the audience before he goes for it. As he runs towards Reigns, Rollins is hit by a massive spear and instinctively stands back up to get hit with the Superman Punch and gets pinned for the 1, 2, 3. This would give the Money in the Bank briefcase the opportunity to do its job 200% that night by making Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns into huge stars at WrestleMania. Rollins would begin to chase Reigns for the title, and the next generation of WWE would officially take control. Now, while it wouldn't be necessary, I would like to see Brock Lesnar hand the title to Reigns and shake his hand before leaving the WWE again.
Really? You want to end on a Lesnar face turn?
Now, I said it wasn't necessary. I just think it would be cool to see Brock Lesnar pass the torch to the next beast of WWE before he leaves. Besides that, what'd you think? You really don't think that would work?
Well, what if you did all that with Dolph Ziggler or Daniel Bryan?
Oh, for fuck's sake. Because they don't need the rub.
Why do you want to put the title on somebody that needs to be pushed this hard?
Because of you. The IWC has a tendency to hate anything that WWE gets behind, even if they only get behind it because you piss, moan, and hashtag your little lives away. Remember Zack Ryder?
Who?
Fucking exactly.
I want Ziggler as champion!
And I want Kofi Kingston to headline WrestleMania. Sometimes we don't get what we want. Ziggler, Bryan, Ambrose, and Rollins don't need the rub. You know why? The universe is already behind them. Sure, Vince has scripted some pretty awful shit for Reigns to say, and has chipped away at the charismatic beast that he can and should be. The only thing Reigns is guilty of is being new and looking like the prototypical WWE guy. Instead of giving somebody a chance, you boo them until WWE gives in and puts whoever you fancy at the time over, only for you to boo them 2 months later saying that WWE is forcing so-and-so down your throat. If you aren't careful, you're going to ruin wrestling.
Really? You want Kofi Kingston to headline WrestleMania?
That's it. I give up. No reasoning with the IWC.
What an idiot. I'm gonna go watch my Attitude Era DVD.